everyone, I hope you're all doing great today. Okay, so I want to classify this video as an emergency broadcast, all right? And there's a very good reason why I want to do that. I have a clip here that I want to share with us. I saw this on Alex Jones' channel, and I don't know why this is not trending all over the place, but I think maybe when you watch it, you'll understand why I was alarmed when I saw this. Take a listen.
Good morning, all my AFF family members and all my MAGA brothers and sisters. Something I want to talk about, something I want to tell you guys. I believe on Wednesday morning when we wake up, the world will be a vastly different place. I believe Donald Trump is going to win this election by a landslide. I believe he's going to win at least 45 states. Excuse me. It's going to be a massacre. I also believe Kamala Harris is going to refuse to leave office. You see, they've allowed these whiny little bitches to take pot shots at Donald Trump so they can have some scumbag that they can blame it on and not be connected to. Camel Toe is not going to leave office because the people who own her are not going to allow it. So sometime in this lame duck period, you're going to see her be sworn in as president. That is going to happen after she loses this election. And then what's going to happen is they're going to call in a professional. They're tired of playing games. They know after they lose the election, they have no other choice. They're going to call in a professional. Donald Trump will be assassinated. And because of that, she will then declare martial law and then have the election be null and void so that she can stay in power. That is what's going to happen. Donald Trump will not keep himself safe after he wins this election. He will be out there doing what he does. And he will be out there and he will be talking to the people, and the people who own Kamala will bring in a professional and they will take him out. They will finally do it because they have no choice. And then she declares martial law. There is no election. She stays in power. I hope somebody can convince Donald Trump, once he wins this election, to stay home and stay safe. Because during that lame duck period, there will be a professional out there looking for him to take him out. And if they get a chance, they will do it. They will succeed because it will be a pro. So please, Mr. President, once you win this election, fucking landslide, keep yourself safe. Stay home. Handpick your own security detail. Make sure that you make it to be sworn in as president. This world will not survive if you do not. The world will never recover from you not becoming our next president. So please, Mr. President, please keep yourself safe.
I understand that that guy is a trucker. I don't know whether to call him a trucker or to call him a prophet, but I understand he's a trucker. And I'm going to tell you right now that I can't remember the last time I watched something this precise, this accurate, this on point on any issue. If that guy is not a prophet, how in the world did he perfectly and accurately predict everything that was going to happen? Keep in mind, the video you just watched was made long before the elections took place on November 5. And he was so emphatic about the fact that Trump was going to win in a landslide. In fact, he called it a massacre, and that's exactly what went down. You are all witnesses to this. The left still hasn't recovered from what happened to them on November 5. So he called it. And then what else did he say? And everything he said, as you saw there, he was very emphatic about it. He was not shaking. He was very sure. There was this tone of finality in every word that he spoke, like somebody who is saying, I am 110% sure of what I am telling you. And he said he's going to win. But when he wins, he's not going to keep himself safe. And the guys who own Kamala are going to take him out. Before I read you a summary of what I took out from that video so we can go through this one by one. I want to call your attention to a video I put on TikTok shortly before the elections took place. In that video, I was basically calling on Nigerian Americans and telling them why, or Africans who live in America or who have naturalized in America. So I was calling on them and telling them why they needed to vote for Donald Trump. And in that video, I made it very clear that I really don't hate Kamala Harris. I don't have anything against the woman, personally speaking. My problem has always been with the people who own Kamala, the people to whom she has sworn allegiance. This has always been the issue. It is not about the puppet, it's about the puppet masters. Because when the puppet gets into power, the puppet masters dictate every single move he or she makes. And so your concern should not be about the puppet, whether she has that issue or that problem or that weakness or not. It is about the agenda of the puppet masters. They're the ones that scare me to death. And that's exactly what this guy was talking about in this video. Now, from the beginning, let me go through some of the points. I wrote them down. The first thing he said is, I believe that Kamala Harris is going to refuse to leave power or to leave office. Who would have thought? Trump won by a landslide that I don't think anyone has seen in generations. Why would Kamala not leave office? How is that going to happen? He said she won't leave office because the people who own her are not going to allow it. The puppet masters. Why wouldn't they allow it? Who are the puppet masters and why would they not allow her to leave? The puppet masters are the key architects of the unipolar world system. Remember, in my previous videos, I have talked about how that Putin and BRICS are trying to usher in a multipolar world system to counter the unipolar world system that has dominated everything in our world from the beginning. Because of the unipolar world system, we are hardly left with any choice on any issue. It is whatever they decide that we have to end up with. You don't have any alternative. But Russia decided to unbundle when the war between Russia and Ukraine started in 2022, and they began to ban Russia left, right, and center. SWIFT, this, that, media. And Russia was like, no, the world can't continue like this. If by just challenging these guys or taking this action, we are banned like this, we are isolated this way, it means that the rest of the world is in danger if we continue to let this system survive. So they decided to put more steam into the power to give birth to what? Multipolar world system. So the guys who own Kamala are the unipolar world system orchestrators and architects. You can also call them the New World Order architects, or you can call them the colonial powers or forces of Europe, or you can call them the gang of 1884 to 1885 that divided Africa in Berlin. The same people, no difference. They are the ones, the guys who love wars, the guys who fund the Ukraine-Russia war, the guys who fund the wars that are now springing up almost every part of this world. They have so much to lose if Kamala disappears from the scene, because Trump has said, and what he says he will do, I am going to end the Russia-Ukraine war. He's not playing. He's not joking. In his first term in office, there was no war anywhere, and he's about to do the same again. So he's made it clear, and all the guys in Europe know, and he will end it. And Zelensky is already preparing for that fate. They know too well that NATO is no longer going to have to rely heavily on America to fight foreign wars. NATO will now have to foot their own bills. He did it the first time, he will do it again. 270 point something billion of American taxpayer money spent on the Russia-Ukraine war. How do you defend this back home in America? Trump is going to roll all that back and cut all that excessive waste of taxpayer money. So if I begin to enumerate the losses to the unipolar world system, to the New World Order, to the deep state, as we call them in America, if I begin to enumerate the things they are going to lose, it is beyond human comprehension. This is why he said that they are not going to let her leave, because letting her leave means that the whole system they built from all these years will collapse under Donald Trump. And that's not all. Trump is going to go after all of them. Look at the picks he has so far. Look at the people he has already picked to serve with him in his administration. These are warriors. I love to call them warriors because when they get to power, there are so many people who are going to go to jail. There is so much that is going to be exposed. There are too many lies that will be exposed. These guys have so much to lose. A lot is at stake for them. And that's why he says they are not going to let her leave. They may not have succeeded in rigging the election, but they are going to find a way to rig her into power one way or another while we are all there gloating over the landslide victory of Donald Trump. The next thing he said is, so at some point in this period, you're going to see her sworn in as president. It is going to happen after she loses election. And the guy, you know what makes my blood run cold when he says it is going to happen? With that tone of assurance and finality, it is going to happen. That's what scares me. Because everything he said already is happening. And I'm going to prove it to you right now. And then he goes again, he says, and then they're going to call in a professional. Donald Trump will be assassinated. He didn't say could be or may be. He said Donald Trump will be assassinated. Christians, take this from your brother. It is not yet Uhuru. I don't care what you see today. It is not yet Uhuru. Trump is picking people who will serve in his administration and all of that. I am telling you, it is not yet Uhuru. I've said it 3 times. It's not over until it is over. Okay, so let's go down. He said, that is what is going to happen from him. I took his word from his mouth. That is what is going to happen. They are going to assassinate Donald Trump. The guy sounds very sure of what he's saying. He goes down, he said, Donald Trump will not keep himself safe after he wins this election. And the guy is telling the truth. Was it just yesterday? Trump was at the UFC event to a rousing welcome. You know how Trump is. He said he's going to keep doing what he does. Trump likes to interact with people. He likes to meet with everyday people. He said it is in the process of doing this that they're going to call in a professional who will not miss, like that boy that missed, or the other ones who missed in the 3 assassination attempts that Trump had escaped. That this time, the person they will call in is not going to miss. It will be hit and get. 1 time, no miss. And now he says he will be out there doing what he does, and the people who own Kamala will bring a professional and they will take him out because they have no other choice. His word. He now said, I hope someone can convince Donald Trump once he wins this election to stay home and stay safe. That's the only place I saw a ray of hope. When he said that, I now heaved a sigh of relief. Okay, so there's actually something that can be done so that this is averted. I hope that someone can tell President Trump once he wins this election to do what? To stay home and stay safe. Now, the last thing I took from his word, he said, so please, Mr. President, this is him making a personal appeal to Trump. Please, Mr. President, once you win this election in a landslide, he was too sure, and that's what happened. He said, keep yourself safe. Number 1, stay home. Remain holed up in Mar-a-Lago, if possible. Okay? He said, and pick your own security detail. And then he said, make sure that you make it to the sworn in as the president of the United States of America. And he went further to say that our world is doomed without you as the president or the next president of the United States of America. Why was I concerned about this guy? I was alarmed and even thought about making a video about him simply because, first of all, my spirit bore witness with everything he was saying. The guy was speaking with authority, and you cannot dispute that once you watch that video. Second of all, everything he said which he did before the election, happened exactly as he said them. After saying that Trump is going to win in a landslide, which actually happened, he talked about how that they want to transfer power to Kamala Harris. Let me prove to you that that also happened shortly after Trump was declared the winner of the 2024 elections. Look at this caption in USA Today. It says, former Kamala Harris aide says Joe Biden should resign so she, Kamala Harris, can serve as 47th president rather than Donald Trump. Here's the rest of the article. It says, Jamal Simmons, a former communications director for Kamala Harris, made an unlikely suggestion about how the vice president might still have a chance of becoming president in 2024 if Joe Biden steps down from office. Asked on Sunday what they thought would be the most important thing to watch for in the 71 days until President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration, panelists on CNN's State of the Union, Scott Jennings, Ashley Ellison, and Brad Todd, pointed to the release of Israeli hostages in Gaza or Trump's actions while setting up his administration. Simmons went in a different direction. Biden, he said, could resign the presidency in the next 30 days and make Kamala Harris the president of the United States of America. To be honest with you, there is not anyone in their right senses who would have imagined anything like this happening or anyone saying something like this. Because the winning of Trump is very convincing. It is historic. Why would anyone even conceive this at all? The first time I saw this in the media on X was when I saw some leftists and liberals who were so angry that Trump had won, and they were melting down and they were just saying all kinds of crazy stuff, out of anger. And they were like, oh, why can't Biden just step down and just make Kamala so that they can make up for all the shame and all the loss and all the nonsense? And I was like, oh my gosh, people say all kinds of stuff when they're angry. It was as a meme on social media. Nobody thought it would ever go mainstream on CNN. But not long after, just days after, a former communications director to Kamala Harris is voicing this out on national TV. You can imagine how callous these guys can be. The guys never give up. They fight to the end. Believers sometimes become a little bit complacent and think that, oh, we've won now, so let's go. And no, you don't dance, you don't celebrate, you don't roll out the drums until the man is sworn in and he goes into the White House and begins the business of governance. That's when you can actually now begin to roll out your drums and begin to celebrate. And even though at that time you still do it cautiously, because the enemy never gives up. This is what is going on. For Jamal Simmons to just go on live television, national TV, to talk about this, you better believe what I tell you today. It was not a personal decision. It was not something that just happened randomly. This is how they prepare you psychologically. They prepare you by sending one of them to do it. At the initial stage, it will come like a very silly, stupid idea. People will be like, what? Are you crazy? Even Dana Bash, who hosts the State of the Union program, was blown away. She was like, really? The first time I saw this was as a meme. Now it's here. What? That's how it is. That's how they prepare you. It's a psychological preparation for what is to come. Mark my words. And right now, you know what they're doing? They're trying to discredit Trump's victory. If you go on social media, if you're on X, check. Many people are now beginning to talk. Oh, they say, maybe he didn't even win the popular vote. Some are saying, oh, maybe there was even something. Or maybe if they had done a recount, they're even putting Biden under pressure to order for a recount of votes. What are you recounting? Everything went through the normal process and the guy had won. They're talking about recounting. They're saying there was cheating. Initially, they said it was Elon Musk that used Starlink to cheat for Trump. It turned out that was also fake. Now they're saying, oh, maybe there were some crazy things that Trump did to win, that he didn't really win well. He didn't win convincingly. It's all a lie. But this is all part of the psychological preparation for what they have in the back of their minds to do, which is very, very sinister. And it will change America and our world forever. Let me read you something. There's a lady on X. Her name is Victoria Brown Worth. Okay? I don't follow her. I don't know her. But just to give you an idea of what they're doing on X, how they are beginning to raise up this dust and start this conversation on how to challenge and question Trump's victory. The lady writes, she says, Kamala Harris may actually win the popular vote. Trump is well under 50% and barely 1% stands between him and Harris. That difference was MSM sandwashing of Trump while holding Harris to a double standard and accountable for Biden, all while Trump is an actual criminal. These guys are starting a crazy conversation on social media to actually question Trump's victory, the most landslide victory, I would say, almost in American history. And when they start with that, you know that something is about to happen. If you're a Christian, you're a child of God, I am telling you this right now. It is not yet Uhuru. We have got to continue to pray and hold this man up. We did not support and vote for Donald Trump so that Trump will begin to look like black people. Like some people will say, oh, where are the black appointees? We didn't vote him to start filling his administration with black people. The ones that had black people from top to bottom, they were the worst for the interest of black people in America and around the world. We're not looking for that. We're looking for somebody who will stand up and fight for the interest of everyday people, not just in America, but all over the world, that will defend our traditional family values, that will stop the wars and stop the wanton destruction of lives and properties around the world. Over 680,000 people dead in the Russia-Ukraine war, a war that is totally and completely avoidable. Yet, that war is still raging. And Kamala promises to continue the war on behalf of her puppet masters. This is why Trump came to power, to bring sanity, to bring law and order back to the mainstream, and to chase the devil back to hell. If you support this and believe that we are so close to achieving this end, I think you should not relax. You should pray. The Bible says, let him who thinks he stands take heed lest he falls. This is your word today. Please let us continue to pray for Donald Trump. The enemy has not vacated the land that belongs to God's children. They are still there. They are still there. We have to pray them back to hell. We have to pray them back to hell. Until we do that, there is no rolling out the drums. But I believe, like that man said, that this window of opportunity to stand with Trump in prayers and make things happen is going to change everything. It's going to make all the difference. So it is now up to you. The ball is in your court. And I know that as we have stood by him and for him in prayers unto this point of election where he won so convincingly, that we can also do it until he's sworn in. And God will bless you for doing that. Take care.